You're now tuned in to Spike T on Make It or Break It 336 Media. Now, tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about and facing something that Black women go through every day. The struggle and the triumph of Black women. You know what I'm saying? It what and we're going to be talking about kind of like what it means to go through this tonight. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share this because it's definitely going to be worth your wait.
Mm. Yeah.
Welcome,
What's
welcome,
up?
welcome.
What's up?
Yes, sir.
We back.
Guys, let me just say, welcome to tonight's show on the Let's Heal Black Woman Empowerment Movement. This is awesome, right?
Yes.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
excited.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
So, ladies, I just want to ask a question to you guys because, as us being Black women, and we're definitely empowering, we, each individual on this group right here does different things and it all comes together. So, how do you feel, or what do you feel that Black women empowerment means to you? And why is it important this day and age that we live in?
You want me to go first? I was about to say I didn't know.
Okay.
But I can honestly say, without using like too much words with it, I can honestly say it's strength. I would say it took a lot of background, and it took a lot of colorism and melanin for in order for us to achieve that quote, Black women empowerment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel you, sis. I definitely agree with you. Because everything about a black woman is so empowering. So to me, what I feel like a black woman's empowerment is with just taking empowerment out is a black woman just take another black woman and show her you can do this. You can read this and you can put everything you put your mind to it. You can do it without somebody telling you you can't do anything at all. We have so many black women in this world who are empowered. And I feel like as black women, we can put anything that we put our mind to and we can do it today. Like right now on this live, on this show, we're gonna show you black empowerment. We're gonna show you just by this right now. We're gonna
Mm,
show you what black empowerment is. Black women
okay.
empowerment.
What's up, Spike T fans?
Definitely.
Yes,
So,
yes.
to me, Black woman empowerment means we are raging in powerfulness. Okay, we are soaring in the greatness that we take so much on that people don't even realize, but we're powerful. So who is to tell us not to do it, right? So
Mm,
Right.
we're gonna start off this show with our first. We have some very, very powerful women here tonight with us. And they can tell you definitely the definition of Black woman empowerment. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So
Mm,
we're going to bring our first person on, our first speaker tonight, and it's definitely going to be great.
okay.
So before we get into our first speaker, I just want to go over a few women that we feel are empowered. This right here is I always tell young people to hold on to their dreams. And sometimes you have to stand up for what you think is right, even if you have to stand alone. Claudette COVID. She was the first black young woman to sit on the bus, and it was not Rosa Parks. She was the first. She was 15. They would not let a young black woman that is 15 years old take that cover. She was the first one.
Oh, oh wow. Hey, Miss Bunny.
Yes.
Hello.
Who we have here is Miss Bonita
Yeah.
Curtin.
Yes,
And she
ladies.
is a housing specialist. And we just want to go over a few questions and look into your life.
All
Yeah.
right now.
See how empowered you are. And we're gonna give the feedback and let you know what we feel about it and how we like it. So let's get into your first question, Miss Bonita.
So, Miss Benita, you had a very wonderful quote, right? And her quote was, "I remember when I first had my daughter, people didn't understand when they would come and they would see her and they would try to make her give them a hug. I would say, no, she has her body, she has her rights, and we are going to do this and to respect that. That was very awesome. Very
Exactly.
So, I think too many times, especially as Black women, we're over sexualized. We're also told that our body does not belong to us. And I especially wanted my daughter to understand that everyone is going to respect your boundaries. So we're talking about physical boundaries right now because you don't understand the emotional boundaries. Then that will come later. But the one thing I can do right now is make everyone respect your physical boundaries.
Exactly.
And, I think I saw in her as a little girl, everyone that would say, give me a hug or whatever. She didn't feel this necessity. She could say, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And and I was like, it made me, because I remember being young and not always feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was able to verbalize it, my mom did stop all of that. She was like, you never have to hug anyone that you don't feel comfortable with. You
Right.
never have to do any of this. And I was like, wow, that's what I want to really instill in my daughter very young, so that she understands her body is precious. No
Right.
one's going to touch it that she doesn't want to.
That was a definitely great quote. Definitely great quote. So
Beautiful.
we're gonna go ahead and get into these questions for you, Miss Benita.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Jay.
Okay, let's get it. So, Miss Benita Curtin, take me back to a time in your life when you were a young girl.
Okay.
I want to dig deep into your mind. I want you to take a look back, really think deep and look back and say, as a young girl, what was it that stuck out to me? Take me a time back in your time.
So as a very young girl, I would say what I felt was security and love from my community. I did not know. I mean, at that time, all I was surrounded was from the Black community. Look, the Black hood community, which I still love. Ain't nothing like the Black hood community, okay? Hey.
Yeah.
Everyone up the street looked out for everyone. And I just remember thinking this was the world.
Mm-hmm.
That, everyone loves each other. Everyone takes care of each other. If my mom has something to do, she could take me down to Miss Fannie Mae's house, and they're going to talk to me, and they're going to give us eggs if we need eggs, all of these things. And so I think that I didn't recognize then how much that was going to shape all the difficulties that I was going to go through. But at that very early stage, I really felt protected and loved and safe.
Okay. So when did you realize, in your lifetime, like everything was like difficult, or or it was just too much? Like,
I think there were actually two incidents. The first, I would say I was about 9. And it's funny how when people say, okay, when you encounter racism, do you know that it's racism or do you know it's discrimination? But I remember I was 9 and my mom was babysitting a little girl, and we were in a shoe store. And the little girl, she's been a kid, okay?
mm-hmm.
So I remember she kind of pulled some pantyhoses that was in the package off the rack. And I never forget the white gentleman that was running the store, wasn't even a manager. He was just so frustrated with us, and he kept looking at us like we were just nothing. And when she pulled her pantyhoses off, she didn't rip the package, but the little hook that it hangs on, she ripped that. And he got so mad. And when we went to go pay for the shoes, he was like, I can't sell these now. You're going to have to buy them. And my mom was like, I'm not going to buy those. You can just lay them on the counter. Someone can buy them. He's like, no, that is the rule here. And I will not sell you these shoes if you don't buy these pantyhoses. So my mom said, I'm not paying for that. And we walked away. But, while that seemed like such a simple incident, it was like I had never, up until that time, been so disrespected, seeing my mom be so disrespected for something that even I, as a 9-year-old, understood was not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the disrespect and the disregard that man treated us was probably my first awakening into this cruel world is out here.
Wow.
And the way that they really think of us. And my mom tried to explain a little bit more afterwards, but that was really, she didn't have to tell me. I felt it all.
Yeah, right. Right.
And I think the second time was, when I had a big culture shift in 7th grade. I shifted from an all Black school to mixed school. And,
No, I was reading the comment. I'm sorry.
Miss Benita, let me ask you. So looking back at those times, what you just explained to us, if you could change one thing or if you could like change one thing for one young Black girl that would go through the same experience that that you was doing back then, what would it be? Like,
You know, I think there's not much that I could change, but this is what I would say, and this is what I see some of our Black women don't get, and that is the security and the protection that I spoke
Mm-hmm.
of. I think when you already have that in you, it
mhm,
prepares you for that world that's going to be cruel to you, that's going to, treat you that you're less than. But when you already know that there's a community out there that loves and supports you, you start to say, okay, you may think I'm that way, but that's not the people around me.
mhm,
So I think as you grow and as you mature, you start to see, okay, just because you see me that way does not mean I have to accept that. And
right.
so I think that's what I would say. Like, that's just a learning experience, because unfortunately we can't stop you from other people in this world and what they're going to do. But if we love and support and give you that foundation, you're going to be able to encounter people like that and be okay.
Right.
Absolutely agree.
You know,
I agree.
So, what do you think are some personal experiences and some challenges that you faced as a teenager?
you got time? No, I would say, you know what is quite, and no matter how people may feel about the whole R. Kelly thing, I really saw early on, and I spoke, a little bit about the hypersexualization of Black girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I really saw that early on. That was the one thing that I didn't feel like community really protected us from. It
Mhm.
Yeah.
was almost like if a older guy is giving you creeper vibes, it's your fault you're being a fast girl.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really saw a lot of that, and I think it made me like want to hide my body when I started to develop.
Mm. Don't
And
get me started.
it was something that while okay, yeah, you don't touch me, but you're clearly undressing me, and you're 35 years old and I'm 15.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Wow.
seriously, why
Yeah.
is that okay? Why is no one, even you're 18 and I'm 15, why is no one
Right.
calling this out? Why is everyone saying, I remember when I was about 13, I had a crush on an older guy, and I remember, he's probably about 18, and people were talking, whispering behind, they're like, why she being fast? Well, I'm being a 13-year-old, you know? And I think, I even had experience of when I was 17, this old white guy came up to me and grabbed me by my waist and asked me to marry him. Yeah. And it was just like, what in the world? But, even with all of that, like when he did that, what he actually taught me was this. He caught me off guard. And I said, I would never let anyone catch me off guard like that again.
Right.
That I learned at that age that I have to protect myself, and I have to be aware of my surroundings, because what does Malcolm X say? The most unprotected woman is the Black woman. That's what we are out here.
Yes. And I think that
Exactly.
goes with, what you're saying is so true, because that goes, we are definitely unprotected. That comes with our family, with our friends, with our inside and everything. So anybody we ever trusted that's done, yeah, they definitely don't protect us. So
Yeah. And I think you go through that normal time as a teenager, one of the things I see changing now is representation in the media, right? Because when I was growing up, we didn't really have that. So you question your looks, you question your lips, you question your nose, you question your butt, everything that is all of a sudden this thing that everyone's trying to get now. When I was younger, it was told that this is ugly, this is blackness, and so it's not okay. And even in our Black community, sometimes we did that, you
that
know?
does actually happen definitely in the Black community.
Right. It's like, so
Right.
we're being told all this, and when you're a teenager and you're trying to navigate all that,
Mm.
you're already trying to figure that, and so it was hard to really find those people who said, "No, look at yourself. You're still beautiful. You're beautiful,
Right.
and you're Black." You know.
And you are
Um,
beautiful.
oh, thank
Don't
you
anybody
so
stop
much.
pushing my girl.
Oh,
Right.
Don't
Right.
do
So
it.
look, I think it's awesome, like of the answer that you gave when she asked you, what would you do for a young Black female out here? But my question for you, so you can tell our Spike T fans, because they had no clue who you are, they don't know it, your whole background. Can you please
Okay.
let them know, what do you do for the
sure, sure.
young Black women of the community?
So I think the better way, let's see, to sum all up, I guess I have many things, but
Right.
I would say professionally kind of sums up who I am personally as well. So I'm a social worker by nature. I've been a social worker for over 21 years, and all of my positions have been about empowering our community, serving marginalized community. I started out in HIV/AIDS, and went to, working in food stamps, Medicaid, and one of the reasons I did food stamps, Medicaid was I saw so many times how people were mistreated when they came in for aid.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt as though everyone deserves dignity and respect. And if I can do that, that's what I'm going to do. And so I remember sometimes I'll be told, like, why are you doing this? Why don't you go to law school or whatever? And it's like, okay, I could be a great lawyer. I understand that. But I'm here because I want to be here. Because
Exactly.
this is what I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be here for my people.
Okay, so are you like, it's different kind of social worker? So you're not like a child social worker?
No, never. No, that's not me.
Okay, so you like, it's like different kind of social work, like
Right.
Yeah.
So the beauty why I chose social work as my major is that social workers can do so many different things. I mean, you can go from medical to school to if you did want to do anything with child protective services. But my thing was I knew that I always wanted to work with marginalized communities, and that there was something to bring to them. There was something to show other Black girls you can do this. And typically think about it when you try to go, if you're doing higher education, everyone tries to say you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer. Those are great things, and you can continue to do it. But what about serving your community who is
Exactly.
and you don't? So being great is not about being some kind of professional that someone can brag on you, because a lot of times it's just your family bragging on your doctor while you're sitting up here busting your tail. I see someone, do I know any Black therapists?
One of our followers want to know, do you know a Black therapist?
I do know some Black therapists, but I will say this. I don't know like any that have their own private practice offhand. I will say places like Family Service of the Piedmont. And I'm trying to think of another agency that has them. Like if you go to places like Monarch, and you can ask specifically for Black social workers, they will accommodate that for you because they understand that people have different needs. But I would say in terms of like the most diverse, that's the one that I know offhand. But I can look up somewhere if you want to share to your users later. Like,
we can share it on
there's some with home health as well. But sometimes that's a little harder to get into because someone said Tree of Life. They have cones sometimes, it's dependent on whether they just help employees or not. But I do know. And look, I'm not currently in therapy, but I love me some therapy. Okay.
Right.
With some therapy.
You know what? I don't think therapy is like, because most Black people need therapy. Like,
yes, I agree with that.
Like I like have I need to go back to my therapist. Years, but I'm like, dang, I need to go back because it helps. Like, don't be ashamed of getting therapy. Like, really, like, please.
Right. I think being Black in America gives us PTSD.
Yeah. By yourself. By yourself. Yeah. So, Benita, what would you say as yourself that you have accomplished in the community that has helped the younger youth, especially young Black women? Because like you said, we all need a leader. So what would you say you by yourself? Like, I hear everything that you have done, and it is amazing that I can listen to you and hear that like some of the things you went through. And then as an adult, you're still making a difference. Yeah. So other than you being in social work and helping everyone in a way, because we know why you're doing it. A lot of people just like, oh, you just hear that baby just, just take. And we know it's not that. Nah. So what would you say you have accomplished to help?
So I tend to volunteer a lot. COVID kind of tripped that up. But I did some mentoring. And at one point I was very involved in a church that I was in. I did a lot of mentoring and I actually held group sessions with the youth of the church. But I would say one of the things I do in addition to the job that I have that I had an advantage of is doing housing, right? So I think housing is most definitely a generational thing, because if I can get your parents housed, then I can get you in a stable community. And if I give you stability, then you get that sense of community that I'm speaking of. And so one of the things, even when I'm not working, that when someone comes to tell me that their housing is not stable, I'm looking for that. I'm searching for that. I'm looking for where can you go? Who can you get assistance from?
Oh my
Um,
God, I love that
Yes.
because I
yeah.
have seen like literally like because people really need to know because it's a lot of people, prices are going high right now.
Mhm.
Okay. Like, so and then the people that really,
Right.
really need it, like how can they get help to like actually get on like these programs that are actually out there for
Yeah.
them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, it's never easy. And I have talked with a couple of agencies to really streamline this. But the best thing is to go to some of your local agencies that are open, for instance, like Interactive Resource Center. If you go there and say, hey, how do I get on the housing list? If you can work with, we have case managers that are there. Like right now, we have some case manager interns from UNCG, and they will take you in the office and help you apply. Sometimes it's just a matter of you getting the list of resources to understand what's out there. But it's not easy to navigate, and it's not all in one place. I will agree with that. So if you do have internet access, it's always good to Google everything because everyone's going digital now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I
Everything
will throw
got
this
it.
out there. There is a website, even though, of course, fraud is everywhere. You always have to double check these properties.
Definitely.
But if people don't know, it's called socialserve.com. And it's kind of like an apartments.com, but it's really where they have low income or affordable housing on there. And they encourage those landlords who keep their rents low to post on that particular place. So socialserve.com is a great place to look at.
Okay, guys. So if in all of you watching, we will try to have that at the end. You said socialserve.com.
.com. Yeah.
Try to have that at the end of of this show for y'all to get a link or something. So
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I want to know, it's a lot of, how can I put it? With my age group, it's a lot of information that like we have lacked on getting, so of course how we move in this generation, they say we messed up, so
Mhm.
my question is, what information have you lacked that you wish that you have gotten at this age now?
So first of all, Black don't crack, so I can't guess your age. Girl, I'm like,
I'm talking
what?
about your
When
age.
did
That
that
was my apology. Your
Uh,
age, not mine. I'm
No,
25.
you're fine. But no, I would say one of the things that I think that I struggled with for a while was, and this was personally and professional, is proving myself.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what we're told because, even, and don't get me wrong, I love Black girl magic because we are magic, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't feel like that all the time, right?
Right.
So we don't always go out. We can't always be. I think Ms. Fox said this at the we were on a talk or whatever, that sometimes we just have to go out and be the best version of ourselves, but not be the best of someone else. So when you get into trying to prove who you are to others, then you get stuck. When you just follow your own path and allow yourself to make mistakes,
Right.
for some reason, I don't know why mistakes are such a bad thing that people try to make us seem like, but we learn from our mistakes.
Exactly.
Mistakes makes us
always.
so great,
Makes
and
us stronger.
everyone makes them. So I think sometimes just be afraid. I almost cursed. Be afraid to mess up.
Right. Right.
Just be afraid to mess up and learn from that, and don't worry so much about others' opinions of you because they ain't gonna do a darn thing for you.
Exactly. Exactly. Jay, you got a question?
Yes, yes, I do. So I want to know. I want to get back deeper into into your childhood, into
Okay, let's
your
go.
inner, because it makes the woman that you are today. You hear me?
Yeah.
So I want to know, how was your transition from a young teenager to doing your own thing to being an independent Black woman?
Yeah. I would say, a lot of that help came from my mother, because she allowed me to struggle. She really did. She tried to be there and she wanted to, but I even remember, my first breakup, y'all. How she just let me cry. I remember she came in the room. She kind of said, it's gonna be okay. She just let me cry it out. She
Right.
really let me figure it out, and it wasn't easy, you know, but it allowed me to walk through all of those emotions that I had to figure out myself. And so I think for me, it was really about spending some meditation. I mean, I didn't know it was meditation at that time, but really spending a long time. I really got into music, finding what was going to keep me away from the bad stuff that I saw other people going through. One of the things that I personally did, I probably was a little woman, but I love to sit around older people and listen to them. And so I would hear their stories. I would hear them tell me, you know, when they went through DV relationships and what to look out for. And I would hear them say, you know, I should have went to college, or I should have finished high school, or I should have done this, and this is why. Right. And so I would take all of that in. And sometimes I would just sit in my room and I would cry and I would listen to music because I thought at 13 I had to figure out my life. And so, like, for me, I grew up in a single parent home. So one of the things that was really crazy that I thought, but I mean, I think a lot of people go through this if you're from a single parent home, and that is, I thought everything would be better if I had my dad. I thought that, you know, if only that would just fix it all, right? And so that took me probably into college to realize that wasn't true. And honestly, I can say I love him because I've connected with my dad since I've been grown. But unfortunately, it was better that he wasn't in my life when I was younger. It made me a better, and in a lot of ways, it made me a better person. And I can now have a relationship with him because I didn't have him in my life when he was younger.
Wow. Yeah.
So all of those things, just really going through the muck of life, really helped me transition to being into adulthood and being an independent woman who says, I don't care what you say. I'll just leave you with this. Like when I graduated from college, my first marriage, I married a pastor. And we moved away and it didn't work out. And I was like, I don't have to stay through this shit. And I'm leaving. And I left. And when I tell you everyone in my community was shocked and mad and had their opinion on that, I said, I don't care. It's not your life. It's my life. And so, I mean, I have a wonderful husband now, wonderful daughter that we became, you know, I didn't have any kids before. He didn't have any kids. We got our kids together and we're living happly ever after.
That's definitely all that matters. that the outcome is greater than what they said.
Right.
Thank you as an adult.
Definitely. Well, I really thank you so much, Benita, for being here with us. I mean, it was really an honor to hear your story and to hear your path and everything. I mean, it was excellent. Definitely great.
Hopefully, we'll help a lot of people. Help our fans who's trying to, you know, be a successful independent woman. So.
And overall, I just feel like as a Black woman, we all say, when I grow up, I want to do this for the you in front of us. You doing it. It's the fact that I'm hearing you say it. And as young Black women, I've heard young Black women that I've, you know, come across say, when I grow up, I want to do this just to help the community because I know how much we get help, but it's fairly like some of us that's going to really help. And to look at a Black empowered woman in front of me, girl, I applaud you. Like I'm a fan. I love it because I'm serious. Because a lot of us we struggle, and a lot of us we was mad. And a lot of the Black folk we saw like, dang, you about to, you know. But you just gave a different perspective, and I respect it, and I love it. And as a Black woman, I applaud you, man. I just applaud it. So thank you for coming on.
Much love to you all, beautiful Black women.
All right.
Thank you.
Later, babes.
So now we are about to play a little clip from Emma Rose. Hold on.
Yeah. Come on, let's go. Put your hands together. Come on one time for me. Hey. Anonymous. Said I know sometimes it seems so hard
I like that.
That was Nonsense Rose with Hold On.
Wow.
Hold On.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Beautiful.
So it's the next icon that I want to bring out, and I'm saying an icon for a Black woman that paved the way that I don't even think a lot of people know that, yes, if they give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. This is Shirley.
Ooh.
Shirley was the first actually woman president. Like she ran for president, won, but people don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she was elected in the United States Congress, and then she went on to the New York's 12th congressional district. And then she ran for 7 terms for president in 1969, I think it was, where she, well, not president, but with that terms of representative of New York. And then she became the first Black candidate for president of the United States for the Democratic Party. So I don't think a lot of people know about her, but she had this quote where if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. This is another woman of the Black empowerment movement that we do not talk about a lot, but we're actually going to bring on a lady that actually like skills to that. You know? Miss Shanette. How are you doing today, Color?
I'm doing well. How are you, ladies?
Doing amazing.
Definitely doing good. Definitely doing
I'm
good.
good.
So, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. Y'all played that wonderful music. Moving on.
Right.
Okay.
I was grooving. I love it. Empowerment.
Okay.
So, what do you think Black woman empowerment means to you? Like, what do you think it means to you?
So Black is beautiful. It's the way we move. It's the way we walk. It's the way we talk. It's the way we interact with others. It's the way we uphold ourselves to a higher standard. It's the way we uplift each
Yes,
other. It's the way we straighten crowns when they're a little bit
yes,
crooked.
queen.
It's all of that.
Yes, queen.
Okay.
All right. So, the first question I want to ask to you, because you had a quote as well, right? Your quote was, "We are all in a room full of negative experiences. That's something that we have in common."
Yes.
Girl, you better go.
I was like, okay. So can you, before I get into those other questions, can you explain that to me? Because I don't think I
Hey,
don't think
sweet.
they really hear you. I don't think.
I need to wake them up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Wake
Okay,
them up.
so at the conference, I kind of listed off several different scenarios where a negative experience may have occurred.
Mhm.
At that time, I had people stand up if that situation had happened to them. And it was overwhelming for everyone in the room, the response to the Black women in that room and in that space. And that's just us. We could have counted off and seen that the whole room was pretty much standing on all of these negative experiences. But then whenever I went to the flip side of things and gave a more positive light or aspect, as if are we all healed from it? Or
Right.
have we taken the steps to heal from it? It's like we're all sitting down, except for maybe one or two. So it's unfortunate, but it's the reality
Yeah.
that we've all experienced something negative. And
Mhm.
it's happened at a young age for plenty of us.
Yes.
You gotta go. I'm at that Facebook post.
I'm loving that. So if y'all didn't hear that, y'all hear it now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be
All
on my post later.
So we're gonna get into it. So at what age in your life, right? What age in your life did you go through some unhealthy experiences that affected you, like personally, or like anything? And I think we have a picture of you when you were like at a younger age, correct?
Oh my
I'm
mama.
not like
Oh my.
Can we pull that up?
I thought y'all about to like blast it. I was like, oh my mama.
oh yeah, that picture, but
I
you know
thought
what I'm saying?
I want to pull it up.
But
Right.
it's
Go
all
ahead.
right.
Show
It's all
that.
right. It's all right. But
For
you know,
another show, maybe. For
I
another
mean,
show
at what
time.
age, what did you know what I'm saying? How did you feel?
So I'm gonna go with around 18 or 19. And I know that sounds a lot later in life,
Mhm.
but as an adult looking back, I feel like college years was where I experienced the most heightened awareness of wrongdoing or what's not right. And I think that's primarily because my background and my upbringing was from a quote unquote sheltered um, upbringing. And I say that because most people say sheltered, but honestly, as an adult, I look back and I'm so appreciative, so grateful because that sheltered statement that everybody says, that just meant protected.
Protect.
That
Yep.
meant loved.
Yeah.
That
I
meant
agree
covered.
with you totally.
So I'm grateful for it.
Girl, I was raised with my grandma, and I was like a granddaughter's kid and all that. So
Okay.
I'm like,
Yes.
so yeah. But now I actually understand, and I'm like, okay, I'm like so glad that you did that because. But then in my, like when you get older, you like, where, do I go out there and experience the world, or do I still grasp what
I
life
was
is?
taught.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the great part about that is that those are great parents who or guardians who are protective, and they do send you out there in the world because they know you have to make it on your own. You have to support yourself. You have to kind of walk in what they've instilled in you.
Yeah.
So I think there's a flip side to that, and that's when that's why I say it's heightened awareness because you go from the world is covered, the world is great, and then your first set of heartache, heartbreak, and you're
Yes.
like, whoa, this ain't what I seen from my loving
Like, can you
parents.
teach me this? Like, what?
What my cousins and them from down the street
Right.
what is this? So
That
it's a more heightened sense of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, you can.
okay. So I do got a few questions for you myself, Miss Shanae.
Yay.
Okay, so I do want to say, were there any type of support systems that you had around you as a black young child? Like, what support system did you go to, and that you could just let everyone know that we may not have known, not a lot of us, that there were support systems, but there are some. And for us, we want to know, what was it for you that you had as a support system?
Right. So my family was a big support system. They still are. Pillars, wonderful people that could speak into my life and kind of lead me in the right direction, guide me in the right direction. Um, I've always worked in healthcare and worked in careers that I was educating someone else on support systems. So I had it like right there at my fingertips. Now it's a whole different story if I utilized those sources, but they were right there at my fingertips. Um, and also just like upbringing within the church. I had a lot of people who played pivotal roles in my life that I could go to. And once again, that's, a matter of if I want to release that information to this person or not. But that doesn't change the fact of the support system is there. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So a
Okay.
lot of
What
it
you
was like
say?
you had your church and you had your family. So you had your village. That's your support system. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Great.
So would you say that your support, like basically what you're saying is the support system and the support that you got was easy? Because some kids out here, some women will tell you like it's not easy getting a support system. It's not. It's not easy getting the support. Period. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we don't see the support that's right there in front of us.
right.
I think a lot of times we're seeking out the people who are ignoring us or seeking out the attention of someone who maybe abandoned us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not getting the attention and support from that person, then it almost seems like we don't have support when that's not the case. It's not the case at all. It's us realizing and having an understanding that the people that love us are there every single day and they choose to be there every single day. And not saying you have to talk to somebody every single day, but those support systems are right there in front of us. It's once again a matter if we kind of dig into or like delve into our support systems that we have right there in front of us or at our fingertips. Or we know that in healthcare, you can ask any physician about anything that you have going on, and they will connect you to whomever they need to connect you to. You can ask within like the church, you can go to certain trusted individuals and they'll pray for you and give you some guidance in that area. And you have your family members who are also going to be, like I said, present. They're present.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
what
I
would you recommend? Oh, go ahead. Want to go?
So I want to ask you about that. Like, so what would you say to the girls that don't have like all that, like the church
Yeah.
system, the support, the family, the like all that stuff? Where could they go? Like, because then those type of people or young females are in like the predicament where they actually probably won't trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? So where could they go to besides those people? Because sometimes all those people kind of let you down too. So
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So in the service or the heart of serving others, I've come into situations where, I mean, a lot of young women are in those scenarios, those circumstances, those situations. Um, I think getting involved in community events, organizations, things of that nature, I guess you have to think of it, those people are there because they have a heart to be there. A
mhm,
lot of times when they're volunteering, they're not getting paid for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's in their heart. It's something ingrained in them. It's something instilled in them. So if they have a passion area, connect with these organizations, get in the community. It's not going to only benefit the young lady. It's going to benefit their future success and how they interact with the world. And it's going to connect them with like individuals who can
mhm,
also uplift them at their age and where they're at.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So with those girls, right? And then if they go to them people, but if they still don't trust them, where would they go then? Is what I was, kind
Yeah,
of.
I think there's a lot of community organizations. There's a lot of, honestly, if you're seeing a primary care provider or if you're seeing
Hmm.
anyone who's caring for your health, once again, I can't plug it enough. Like, first and foremost, find a primary care provider that you trust,
Definitely,
Yeah.
ladies.
one that you can talk to, one that you can advocate for yourself for, one that listens to you. And I can't say that enough. And I preach this to adults. Find somebody who listens to you. That person will have your best interests at heart. They have nothing to gain
Definitely
from it.
will.
So they will connect them to the appropriate resources. And trust me, if they don't, we have people like the wonderful Miss Benita, and other social workers, other case managers, like in healthcare. Honestly,
Mhm.
talk to your primary care provider. If you trust them, they have a wealth of resources, a wealth of people who have caring hearts that will point you in the right direction. And it's all confidential. It's all.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So
I
I
hear
was
you.
saying, I just want to look deep into you as well. Like we all come from a past, and I definitely love your quote that you're saying. Like we're all coming from a time that we all need to heal. You understand? So I really just want to dig deep. What would you say your greatest accomplishments and your worst fears were as a teenager? Because we grown now, we grown women now. We had to overcome a lot. So as a teenager, I'm pretty sure you didn't say I see myself right here. So what did you have to overcome?
There's
I
another
think I
therapy.
think being placed in uncomfortable
Yes, agree.
situations and seeing my way out of and working through and thriving in those situations. So, I mean, if you think about it, and that question as a teenager, it's big, right? Because you're like, what accomplishments? Yes, there's awards, there's certificates, there's all these great things, but nothing is greater than the situations you stood up to and overcame.
Mm.
So what would you say
So,
you overcame?
uncomfortable situations like being in honors courses, it doesn't always feel great to be the eyeball out, to be the little black girl in the classroom.
Girl, I was a nerd.
It doesn't feel great, right?
Now other place I was nerd too. And we was like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right. But
I
there's a
now
passion
realize that,
there.
like, okay, but still, so yeah.
Absolutely. Look, things like that.
Hmm.
Or serving in leadership positions, even as in your youth. So my parents, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. They had us in the church, and I think as a young person, I'm just like, church again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How much more church can you
It
do,
was
right?
tiring, right?
Not
Oh, she
only
was
did
there
they
every
have us
day.
in church, they had us in leadership in church. So things that would like put us in front of people. They had us on the praise team. They had us on the choir. They had us doing rap contests. They had like any talent that you can think of. My mom was like, "Come on, this is the rap. We're gonna win this. We get number one." It's
I
just
love
certain
that.
things. Speaking engagement, singing in front of people, like girl, sing. Like they're putting you out in front of people, and there's a level of uncomfortability to it, but there's also a level of elevation to it as well. I think that's something you don't realize as a teen, but as an adult, like you said, we're looking back, it's beneficial, you know.
Okay. So
I
what was
love
your fears? Like the fears as a teenager? Like you've accomplished many things. Look at the black woman you are today. And I say that, and I'm very bold on the black woman because a lot of us don't have a lot to look up to. You understand, especially the young women that you come across every day, and I know you come across a lot of young women.
Yeah.
So the fears, I know we want to know what was the fears as well. What was the fear of yours as a teenager? You're like, I don't know if I'm gonna come through it. I don't know if I'm gonna get through it, but
Yeah.
what scared you?
So there are three things that come to mind that stand out for me. The first thing is a fear of failure. And that's very subjective because, like, what is the measurement of success?
Yeah.
So it's like, who are we measuring up to? So that was one thing. Another one would be like a loss of a parent or sibling. Another thing would be disappointing my parents. And that's ironic because they're my biggest supporters, right? So those were three things that kind of stand out for me that would have been like, oh gosh, I probably won't make it if I'm disappointing or if I'm failing or, if I lose them,
Mhm.
that
I
is so
love
fact.
I love that your parents like those are your biggest like your big like as listening to you as we interview you. I want to say thank you to your parents because without your parents, you wouldn't be and everyone else. You wouldn't be who you are. I'm gonna be honest with that. We're gonna continue with the crap. I wanted to say that because I hear you say your parents and you're very heavy on it. You understand?
Right.
And I want to
Yeah.
say we hear it.
I
So
just sometimes I think just sometimes those fears though, because I was actually like you got to do everything right because you're scared to hurt that other person or hurt the person that you're trying to prove that to. But sometimes that can kind of mess with yourself as well. It's like as you get older, you be like, well, dang, why am I still trying to like be this perfect? Because I had to do that, as a younger person.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
We're
does.
here.
Okay, so what
Yeah, we here.
right. So what advice can you give the younger females, like my age group, that has the same fears you have? Because it seems like you're balanced here. Like you overcame your fear. So
So if I'm going with the three that I just mentioned, my first is develop your own definition of success. So you want to like evaluate and create realistic goals and then work towards those goals.
okay.
Work towards those goals. You also want to, after you accomplish those goals, celebrate the success. Because a lot of times we don't celebrate our success. We're like, what's the next thing we can do? What's the next thing we can do? No, celebrate yourself and then set a new goal and move on to the next one.
All right.
And also realize that failing means you're trying. Keep going. Failing means you're trying. So that there's nothing to sit in and like dwell in. Like you're literally okay.
Okay.
I think with the loss of a parent or sibling, I think for all of us, we know that we're sent here. We're sent here for a reason. We're blessed to be here, and we have to be in a place where we're showing appreciation for our parent, our guardian, the people that show up for us,
yes.
and just appreciate these people. When it comes to disappointing parents, they're literally your A1 since day one. I mean, if they're a person in your life that loves you, they're going to show up for you, and they're going to present themselves accordingly every chance they can get.
Yes.
So know that they have made mistakes themselves. They may be trying to keep you from making certain mistakes, but they're reality is that you're going to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
So that disappointment is more you being hard on yourself than it is them thinking that you're a disappointment.
Right.
Definitely. Definitely.
Deep.
Well, girl, Mission, I'll tell you, like, you have been an honor and it's like a privilege to be on here tonight.
I'm grateful to be here.
Definitely. Do you have like let the people know that's all watching, like, where can they, get in contact with you? Do you have like social media or anything that, you can
Right.
other, little black girls that's watching this tonight? It's like, oh, I can make it. So
yeah. So right now on Instagram, it's Ms. MZ _influential 03. It is a private account because I do believe in privacy. We talked about boundaries in the conference. So I'm not just openly out there. Like, I have to accept you.
definitely.
Right.
Especially it's something that's worthy of accepting. So
Absolutely. You have to protect your bounds. So so they can find me on IG there. I will say that my sister and I have a lot of business ventures coming up. So literally on Facebook, we're the STEAM Zone. So STEAM. We'll post updates and announcements there as far as what's to come.
So I'm just about to write that down real quick. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure.
I'm grateful to be here.
Right. So, nice meeting you, love.
Nice meeting you all.
I guess he wants you to stay on. This was a
Right. What y'all got for me?
Got a few more.
Okay. You already know what time it is.
That's turned out to be a fantastic night so far. We definitely have plenty more for you guys. We have Anonymous Rose coming again, and it's intermission kind of thing, Anonymous Rose, and it's Far Away.
Making love. I know that was. Baby, 'cause tonight we gon' dance it away and pray that everything returns the same. Only for one night. We can dance amongst the stars. Somebody has to know where we are. We can go far. Go far away from here. It seems like we're distracted. Don't know what happened. Never been down this road before. So where do we go now with this new mood we have found at our door? I don't wanna fight about what happened last night. Back up, 'cause we gon' to restore what truly belongs. We're gonna take some time to build this foundation right. Ain't a bit of a caution, mind, put up a fight. 'Cause tonight we gon' dance it away and pray that everything returns the same. Only for one night. We can dance amongst the stars. Somebody has to know where we are. We can go far. You're tired down to the wire, so how do we get all this way? I don't wanna fight about what happened last night. Back up, 'cause we gon' to restore what truly belongs. We're gonna take some time to build this foundation right. Build this foundation right. And a potion, you know it, put up a fight. 'Cause tonight we gon' dance it away and pray that everything returns the same. Everything returns the same. For one night. We can dance amongst the stars. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to know. We can go far. We can go far away from here. crossed your mind, you know we put up a fight. We're gonna take some time to build this foundation right. Do is take off. Ain't a bit of a cross your mind, you know we put up a fight. Cause tonight we gon' dance it away and pray that everything returns the same. Everything returns the same. We can dance amongst the stars. Nobody has to know where we are. We can go far. We can go far away from here.
She give me Lauryn Hill vibes.
The
Yeah.
face kind of. Not
The way
the
she
vibe.
look.
The look, but not the vibe.
So welcome back. Welcome back. That was Anonymous Rose. She killing it right now.
Yeah.
Definitely killing it right now.
Definitely a queen, because you know
Definitely.
I gotta bring up my queen, Miss Queen Nefertiti, after this. But you know, I gotta go ahead and bust this little quote for the people from Miss, Dorothy Heights. A African American advocate, born March 24th. She also focused on the issues of African American women in unemployment, literacy, and voters awareness. But her quote is, "Progress come from caring more about what needs to be done than about about who gets the credit." Now I don't know if that flew over y'all head.
No, it didn't, girl.
No,
And
not
then
your
you
the
said, bring
people.
that quote back up because she did say progress.
Progress
Caring.
comes from caring more about what needs to be done than about who gets the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That probably will fly over a lot of people's heads. You know what? We about to bring. Go ahead.
let me bring my queen out, Miss Nefertiti, aka Miss Katrina Bass. Is that how you say it?
Hey y'all.
Hey, beautiful.
How you
Embrace
doing?
her.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you all?
We're doing
Queen?
great.
Yeah.
We
How
are
y'all doing, Queen?
we're doing great, Queen.
How y'all doing, Queen?
We
doing
Come
good.
on. Okay, let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Look, we trying to
And if
make
you're
our
not, it's
queen
okay.
excited
But if
to
you're
hear
not,
from
it's
you.
okay.
We're definitely excited for you to be on here.
Yes.
I love your background, sugar. I'm gonna tell you right now, I love your background. I
So,
love it. I just had to shout you out. I'm sorry. I love it. I love your background.
Thank you.
so Miss Miss
Darling.
Nefertiti, she is a community advocate, a health quality professional, a PR and marketing agent. You know, one of the best out of
She
the.
doing big things.
Yes, ma'am. That means she worked with a lot of people. She done did a lot of things.
Yeah.
So these questions that we ask you should hit, like, what I'm
Right.
saying, hit like a rock.
Okay.
You
Okay.
already
Let's
know.
go.
That's the
Right.
one, guys, that is starting off the Let's Heal Black Women Power movement. So let's give her a hand for that.
Yes,
I don't think
ma'am.
a lot of people,
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
Thank
doing
you,
that right
man.
now. So
Thank
congratulations, and
you.
I love
So,
it.
Miss Nefertiti, I want you to tell the people instead of me trying to tell them, they need to know who you are. So can you tell them who you are and a little bit more details of what you do?
Okay, so my given name was Katrina Bass. Is Katrina Bass, and my chosen name is Nefertiti. Um, a little bit about myself. I grew up in the church, Seventh Day Adventist. We didn't wear jewelry, makeup, nothing. Plain everything, right? Plain
Okay.
Jane. Let's just say plain Jane. That's
Okay.
up to date to the terminology that everyone's using now.
Okay.
So we were plain Janes. We went to church on Saturdays. I did so many things in the church. I don't go to church now. However, I'm very grateful for what church gave me,
Mm,
that discipline, that being able to get up in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to do it in school, and then I do it in my career now. So
mm,
those foundations were laid, and my great grandmother, who raised my sister and I, she helped us do that. She
mm,
had me standing in front of her reciting things, using expression, and she only had a sixth grade education.
Mm.
So when I say humble beginnings, I mean it. My great grandma was a farmer. and she
Yeah.
taught me. She made sure we had everything we needed. Okay, she got us
Right.
Encyclopedia Britannicas, all kinds of stuff. Highlight. I don't know if y'all know them highlight books. Just getting
Yeah.
Yeah.
highlights in the
I'm
mail.
like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, because we say
Nat
that.
Geo books, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gave us everything. She didn't. She stopped at sixth grade, but she made sure we kept going.
Right.
She was very overprotective. I remember Shanae Fox mentioning about being raised in an overprotective household. I was too. So, but there were some things that I didn't experience as a young adult, but then I experienced later. I went to school. I wanted to be able to go to school to help the community. I started out in nursing. I switched over into human sciences. I
Mm,
didn't know about that field, but I'm better for that field. I'm
Sorry.
better for
okay.
that field. Y'all
Right.
understand that?
Definitely. Yeah, I feel you.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Because I
that can
don't
be
believe medicine fixes everything. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
agree.
I was talking about that
Okay,
earlier.
Dior, J, sugar. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
it doesn't. It does not.
So I'm happy that I didn't go down that path. But when I found this one, I did my bachelor's in child development and family relations, and then I
Mm,
did my master's in human development. So we studied the whole lifespan from birth to death, and then family relations, and then a minor in counseling. So I work in mental health and substance abuse. Right now, I'm a past case manager with the IRC downtown in Greensboro. We have a grant from SAMHSA, which is a federally funded program that they get funded from the federal government to the state, and we provide the services. We go
Right.
out and outreach those who are experiencing chronic homelessness and who have severe
okay.
persistent mental illness, and that could be schizoaffective schizophrenia, depression. What's the other one? Depression, PTSD, and bipolar. So
I'm on the
to be
way.
able to do that, y'all want to wait? You're not outside. You gotta be outside. You gotta be in the tent outside in the woods or under the bridge. Or you under the bridge?
Oh no, no, I ain't that bridge.
Okay, all right. But to be a case manager or a QP in that field, you have to already have worked in that. So I've been doing this for some time now. Didn't know that this would be my path. I thought I was going to be a nurse or a teacher, but here I am. I'm still helping people, and that was my goal. My grandmother raised us as such, and here I am. Like her legacy is continuing.
Okay.
So, what do you define as women empowerment?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, women's empowerment. I strongly believe that women's empowerment for each individual woman is actually understanding who you are, accepting who you are, flaws in all, and
Okay.
growing into who you want to become.
Yes.
That's why your
Okay?
name is
That's
Nefertiti.
I need to
okay.
write that down. I need to write that down. I never said that before. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm coming off the top of the dome here, y'all. I didn't even.
we bring it out. We bring it out.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all bring it out. Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely, and
ma'am.
I definitely agree with that because if you don't,
Yes.
Yes.
that's definitely awesome. Definitely awesome.
So I'm going through, we all going through it because it's live. We all feel it. We feeling the questions. We loving the questions and the answers.
Yes. Great
You,
question.
Miss Nefertiti, brought two beautiful, black, strong, independent women here. If I lose this head again, I think it has to come off. You know why? Because
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
know
just
it
tell
fell.
us it's a hat that came off. Because I take my hat off to you. That's why it came off. When
Oh,
you
thank
brung these
you.
on here, you showed us something that we probably never even seen before. So let us
Oh
know,
my God.
how did you meet Miss Bonita and Shanae? I told you my hat had to come off. It kept coming off. It
I
said,
see
"I hand off
that.
to you for bringing these women on here."
I'm
How'd you meet them?
humbled.
Yeah,
How'd you meet
awesome.
them?
I'm so humbled, y'all. I met Coach Fox. I call her Coach Fox. She's my daughter's cheerleading coach. So she donates her time, volunteers her time to young teenagers. Other than her program, her STEAM program with her sister, she comes after work, after a long day of work, and comes all the way to Greensboro to coach young teenagers cheerleading. And she teaches them way more than that. Okay? It's about like accepting yourself and learning who you are and striving for excellence, not perfection, but excellence. So I love that. And so she has a beautiful spirit. And so I just knew I was thinking about who do I want to come speak at this my first women's empowerment, and I had to bring her because she embodies women's empowerment. And y'all know that because you already heard her interview for the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard her speak at the women's empowerment at the IRC. And then Miss Benita, I've been working at the IRC Interactive Resource Center since last summer, and I met her there. She was a spirit that attracted me because she had so much positivity. She had a light. So I'm an empath, and I attract certain people who need healing, but I also attract those who can help me along my path. So she's like a big sister to me, and I know I had to choose her too because she embodied women's empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
She does not tear down sisters or another woman. I don't care what color they are. She is for uplifting others, and that's why she was a part of that. Both women.
Yeah, I'm definitely empath, so I feel you. I know you listen. I can just like whatever. Oh my
Yes,
god.
ma'am.
Wrong.
So
Definitely.
what role do you play in women empowerment?
Like, what role do I play? You mean
Yes.
like okay, so like showing others women empowerment or
And yourself. Like
in
how do you
myself?
define yourself as a
And
person
yours,
in
Okay.
yeah, and
women
yourself for
empowerment?
what you bring to everybody else. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, oh my goodness. It took so many years to understand myself. It took a lot of pain, hurt, loss, grief to get here. It is not an easy path, but we have to go through it. We have to be uncomfortable to grow. So I've been very uncomfortable.
Mm.
And I'm still not all the way comfortable because I'm still learning and growing. So I'm not done yet. I think that we need to spend a lifetime in growing and not and having an open mind so that we can accept constructive criticism. Understand that we are changing. We are not going to be the same. You're not going to be the same person you were last year. You're going
Right.
to have different experiences to
Right.
bring different ideas in your mind about what you think, what you believe, all kinds of things. I mean, I grew up in church, but now I'm spiritual. I don't need the church to still do the work. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the church to still do the work. That's a quote, Tony. Write that
They
down.
say
Um,
you don't need the first to praise God. You can go in your closet and just pray. You need the building. Is just a building. You can do
okay. We're doing the work in the streets. I believe that it takes a village. So it takes a village means I need to be outside. I don't need to be inside four walls. Um, church is good for so many things, but there's other things that the church can grow
exactly.
into, and that's being less judgmental, actually accepting people for who they are, and getting outside for real in the streets to meet people where they are.
Right.
So I'm doing that in my profession. I'm so thankful to be able to do something that I love to do. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like it's a blessing. It's such a blessing. And to get paid for it, that's just on the top of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I do this without getting paid. I got people I mentor
Hey, that's a
too.
double blessing right there. Like you doing it
Right.
for
Right.
you getting paid for it. Like
Like, you don't even care
Yeah,
about
and
it.
I just wanted to go to I just want to go to school to like have all this knowledge so I can help my community. So that was what my degree was for. Some people get degrees for so many reasons, but my degree was only to help others. That's it. Um, I feel like women's empowerment, I have become empowered more so than I ever have. After the age of 32, having a miscarriage, having to start over. Me and my child's father, we separated. We were together for 10 years. I had to start all the way over, and I went through some traumatic things as well. So that right there,
Stop apologizing.
I had to become empowered.
friends after this, like after this, we go like
Yes, ma'am. You want to talk after this?
and like talk and like
Yes.
I love you so
Whenever
much.
you get to a low place, y'all, there's no where to go but up. So I had to grow up. I had to grow up.
So
Yes.
guess what? I got a surprise for you, Miss Grow Up.
What
I
you
got a
what you
picture.
got?
I got a picture of you
Oh
graduating.
Lord!
No, I just
Graduate!
I just let
Oh man.
Yeah. You better pull it out for real.
I
Yo,
did see
your
I
white
did
ass
see
is
your
like a
graduation
Actually,
monster
picture
no,
on
on
we
Google
do
though.
have pictures of y'all though. We did get them, but
Yeah,
you
we
know,
got
it's
the pictures
you
now.
know,
Yeah, y'all
Good
did get
job,
them, but y'all didn't get
Spike.
them up here. So,
It's all
hey,
good.
yeah.
if you don't see it, it don't count.
No,
Actually, I
if
feel
they
Okay.
like
research,
this
if
is
they
more.
Google your name, they gonna see that graduation picture on Google now.
Dang, they are. Dang.
Actually, I
Gonna be
feel like.
ungoogleable.
Actually, I feel like this is more like pictures. Yeah, we're gonna have we have your picture, but I feel like this as y'all in person and live in this, I'm getting the
Mm,
real you. I don't need to
yes,
look at a picture and be like, oh, that's how she look. But no, this is you. This is what I'm seeing, and I love it. Like I love y'all women have definitely came tonight and brought it and brought some inspiration and brought like some
Awesome.
things like, dang, are we twins or like what? Where is he? Where they been at? Like, you kind
you
of
will
like
be in here, man.
when you think like somebody else, you never know that you'll meet other women that kind of think like that too. So you just be like,
Yes,
you know.
that's
So
right. That's true.
yeah. So I do want to ask you because you do have events and like all that. You do have like the Let's Hill event, which I was like so honored to be a part of. It was
Thank you so
that was
much for
actually
being
real
there.
bad. Like that was like my first like live like event. Like, and there was
You did
like
a
and
good
people were
job,
like,
sugar.
"God, did you do this?" But I was like, "No, this is my first time." But it was like, "Oh, it seemed like I did it like before."
Yes, you did a yeah, y'all did a good
I
job.
think it was the vibe from you ladies. Like it was like I'm an empath. I'm like this person that feels everything. It's like, but that vibe was like it was like, oh my god. So it made me like do my thing. So
Yes.
I guess what I'm asking is like, how do you kind of like pick your speakers to like speak for those events? That you have because you had like some awesome people. So
So I really like to choose people to speak who have really come from like humble beginnings. They had some hardships. They had something they went through. They had to heal through.
Hmm.
So I had to choose people who I know were humble. They don't think of themselves as being better than anyone because they made it somewhere.
mhm.
Okay? We can speak to anyone in a crowd. Anyone. And Benita and I work, in a not a shelter but a day center that has guests that come in who are homeless, may not have a high school diploma. We have degrees, but we don't speak like that to them. You have to meet people where they are. So Shanae Fox, me,
Right.
and Benita, that's how we speak to those, and
Mhm.
it has to be someone who genuinely cares about other women too. I will never have anyone knowingly that puts other women down. And if I do, please tell me, and I will not have that person speaking. I only need
Okay.
one
Good.
who
Yeah.
we all queens and we all have crowns. We are Justins and we are not knocking them off. So
I
if you're
love
about knocking them off, you can't come. You cannot come.
because I feel like the women that you had there, they're not the type of that they will actually be the type of women that lift you up. It would be like
That's
how they
right.
say who you hang around is who you like become. So
That's
I feel
right.
like yeah. So I feel like these women they will actually like bring you to a higher point because they're giving you confidence and build you up instead of
Yes.
like you did that today or you like so much of we hear like growing up they won't do that. So yeah, awesome.
That's right. It's
Hmm.
amazing to have people like that. That if you're feeling, it's hard to be the strong person.
Yeah.
It is hard. And as a black woman, we know they think of us as this independent, strong woman. And yes, we can be. But there's times when we need to be vulnerable, y'all.
Yeah.
We cannot heal if we have no one to be vulnerable to. And if you're not getting therapy, I get therapy, just so everyone knows. I get therapy. I started last year. Oh, good sugar. We don't always
I
understand
said
that
that
because in
earlier.
our
Like
I heard you. In our culture, we don't talk about mental health.
we
We don't talk
don't.
about PTSD, but like Benita said, we got PTSD for being black in America. Period.
Period. So
Period. So that's one layer. Not to mention like all the other things, our family challenges, the cycles of things that happen in our family. and we gravitate towards and we continue it in our life. And we have to learn how to stop that. We have to learn that it's okay to talk about what happens in the house, outside the house.
Yeah.
Stop keeping everything in the house. Because how can you heal and work through anything if you keep it inside? You cannot.
So,
Yes.
what advice? Now that you're saying that, what advice that you get? What advice? This is, and I'm going like off script. So
It's okay, honey. This is a
what advice
conversation.
would you give like little girls who actually told somebody and then they swept it under the rug? Because you say like tell somebody and then when you know, because some girl, I could be an example. I'm not going like this, no, but I'm just
It's
saying
okay. Go ahead.
example of if you actually like tell somebody and they sweep it under the rug. So, what advice would you give them? Like,
I will let them know anything that's in the dark is going to come to light. And that's whether it boils over into you having a mental breakdown or lashing out on someone, or whether you talk, process, and work through it. So you need to work through it, because if you don't work through it now, it will come out later. We all know this. We know somebody who's been raped. We know somebody who's been yelled at, talked down to growing up from parents who didn't know any better either. So if you keep all that stuff inside, you're holding yourself back.
mm,
If you don't want to hold yourself back, baby, you want to let those wings spread, you better talk about that thing. Because the
that's
only way to heal through it is to move through it.
Correct.
Okay? Move through it.
great.
You
What
cannot
I'm,
you cannot sit in it. Don't sit in it. That is
yeah.
my advice. Do not sit in it. Move through it.
Right.
I wanna bring up Larry's question. I want to answer that. I don't know if
Okay.
y'all want to answer it too, but I want to answer. Bring up Larry's question
Let's bring
again.
that back up.
Let's bring that back up for a quick second. Even if it don't come up, I can tell you. You said,
How
what
can the
things
black
do you
man
think
support?
that black men can do to help us queens? Yes. In what way can us
Okay.
black men be more supportive of you queens? Accountability. Because every woman knows someone who was molested, raped, assaulted. But how many men do you know that say, I know a man that did it? Accountability.
I feel
Oh,
like in answering his question, in what ways can you black men be more supportive?
Yes. Yeah, but
Stop
taking
like
accountability. Yeah.
stop like when a woman comes and talks to you, period. Like just when we're coming being vulnerable, because women are hard, we're like hardcore. So we actually like come and talk to y'all. Don't try to like
Be insensitive.
yeah, like don't try to like be like I can, but you know what? This is probably another subject too, because a lot of men don't know how to be sensitive because their mothers or somebody told them like you better not cry or like nothing.
Yeah.
that's a
Like,
whole
Yeah,
nother
big
thing
boy.
right there.
it's
Yeah.
a whole nother subject. Like,
Yeah.
Men need to heal too. Men need to heal too. It's so crazy.
right. So it's like I know that's maybe that's a little tricky question. So I'm not even gonna because we might have a whole nother show out here.
Yeah, that is a whole nother show topic. Yeah, that's a
Right.
whole nother show topic, y'all. For real.
Right.
But I think that black men can support us queens in acknowledging our pain, because what we don't get is acknowledgement. That is the first thing. Just acknowledge how
Mm-hmm.
we feel. You don't have to understand it all the way. You don't have to agree with how we feel, but acknowledge
Our cry.
our pain. Acknowledge, because if you feel acknowledged, how far do you think that can go? If you think someone's actually listening to you, understanding you, that goes so far. All it takes is, I hear you, I understand. And if you don't have an answer, you don't know how to respond right away, go think about it and come back to me. I respect that over you just ignoring it. So kings who crowns are kind of tilted over, that we need to bring
They
to
tilt it
the
all the way
middle of
over.
your head. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Let us
Just
women pick like
acknowledge. Yes, yes. And we need to, I know he asked about men and supporting queens. Acknowledge us. Acknowledge everything about us. That's the biggest thing. And
that's
then secondly,
yeah.
I think that we need to acknowledge that sometimes the men don't understand where we're coming from. Right? They say we're from Mars and we're from Venus, they're from Mars. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's kind of true. It's kind of true because they really don't think like us. Our minds are like so complex. But simply for me, like I don't know about for y'all ladies, tell me what you need in a relationship. Like you just need someone to be honest, loyal, caring, okay? Honest, loyal, and caring gets you so far.
Look, I don't even want to pay bills. I can pay the bills. Like, it's like I just want you to be
Right. Let's just be honest.
like,
Yes.
with men, I'm talking about a woman, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like
Yeah.
that. It's like that where I don't, just be my
Yeah.
protector. Like, I don't need like anything else, like from you, because I can do everything on my own. But it's like sometimes I just want to come home and just maybe cry in somebody's arms one day. Like,
That's right. Oh my God.
can I just like tell you what like my day?
Yes. Can I be vulnerable with you? Can I be vulnerable? Like
Yeah, like
today, ladies, I had a hard day, but I'm here.
yes,
It was hard, but I'm here.
but I'm
And
here.
this is what I needed.
Right.
And hearing the other ladies speak before me, that helped me too. Because I have my days too. I'm strong, but I have my days. And I'm
Mm.
going to be honest about it. I'm going to be honest about it. We're not going to be strong and what people think is perfect every day, but we're going to strive for excellence. And me listening to y'all, seeing your smiling faces, your Jay and Sugar, that helped me out.
For sure.
So thank you.
No problem.
Like, see,
Okay, I got one more question before we go, because I got to fit this in before we go.
we like
Okay.
here. We like
Okay, like did something happen in your life, specifically? I mean, I don't know if you want to open up about,
Go ahead.
personal, but
It's
I
okay. I'm a book. I'm gonna write a book. So go ahead.
yeah. So did anything happen specifically that made you like speak up and on women empowerment, or just speak up and be like, oh nah, you know how us, black folk would be like, oh nah, dog, I got to do something about this. I got to help because I can't sit here and watch this happen. So
I did.
mm,
It was. I've been a very I'm a sensitive person, so I can pick up on things easily. That's an empath. That's one of the traits of being an empath. I didn't
mm,
know I was an empath when I was younger, y'all. So I didn't know it until I got older. So I understand it better now than I ever did before. But like I seen family like bashing each other on both sides. I went through my parents getting divorced. I went through being raised by a family that wasn't my blood. I went through thinking someone was my father until I was 14, not knowing that he was not my father. Like that's tough. I went through my great grandmother who wasn't my blood. She raised my sister and I. She raised us, and when she died, they packed up everything and put it in a camper. So when I came home from college, when I found out she died, I had nothing to come home to. It took
mm,
everything from me. Um, I grew up being picked on because I was dark skinned, called African, booty scratcher, black monkey,
mm,
God, so many things. Being a little overweight.
mm,
My family picked on me because of that. I got picked on for speaking well. I can't help that. I'm not. They call me white girl. I'm not a white girl, but I just know how to speak. What's wrong with that? But I
they
felt
did that to me too. They said I was like you talking white, but I'm like, how do white people talk? I'm just talking with
no. You know how to speak proper English. That's all it is. Right, but they make you feel bad because you got it and they didn't get it, and it's okay. We all have different strengths and challenges, but don't make someone else feel bad. I
mm,
got I experienced racism in third grade. A teacher not wanting to call on me, and my grandmother came up there. She was not having it. My grandmother said, "You gonna call on my granddaughter? She's raising her hand. Why are you skipping her?" So I had to deal with that. I mean, workplace, all kind of stuff, but even an older black man, I heard y'all talking about this. An older black man tried to touch me when I was younger. And if I didn't speak up to my grandmother, she was going to allow him to watch us. It was her neighbor's nephew to watch us while she went to Delaware for a wedding. I would have got raped probably, okay?
mm,
But because I spoke up, I want all young girls to speak up. I don't care what someone tells you. I tell my daughter right now, I said, I don't care what anybody tells you. You tell me if anybody tries to touch you. I don't care who it is. You
mm,
tell me. Don't be scared they're going to kill me or kill anybody you know. No, you tell me.
mm,
Okay? So we got to tell our little girls and boys that. Boys get raped too. We can't forget about them. We have
mm,
to let our boys know. But going through so many family challenges, y'all, having to wear a heart monitor because they caused me stress on what school I should go to because, oh, your mom's family didn't raise you, so they don't love you. Like, it was just so much, y'all. I
Yeah.
just hated that divisiveness. And I knew that it should be better because it didn't sit right and didn't feel right for me. So going into my spirituality, and recognizing what our ancestors practiced prior to being enslaved,
Mhm.
I have found in my empowerment, knowing that I come from kings and queens, from the original people, from people who had the earliest civilizations on this planet, that empowered me. We need to teach
Yeah.
our kids that. Teach our kids. Teach yourselves that. Go look up your own history.
I'm definitely gonna tell my daughter that her auntie, great
Okay.
great auntie, was Loretta Lax, because my family is Lax. If I don't know if y'all know who Loretta Lax was, but she was the first woman that put the experiment on and took her cells out to like
Yes, they did. They
that
still
was
have them now.
That's
Sugar,
your
they still have
bloodline.
them now.
they
That's
still
your
have her. That was
bloodline.
my aunt. My if you
Oh
look at my
wow.
Relax,
That was your great aunt.
Oh my, that's a
definitely.
strong bloodline.
Wow.
Oh wow,
So
it's an
yes,
honor
that
to
was yeah.
come
That's
on now.
amazing. Well,
Like,
thank you for
yes.
your ancestor giving us accessibility to being able to find cures for things because they use our blood for so many things, man.
Yeah.
Our melanin costs more than a pound of gold. Do y'all know that? Our
Yeah.
melanin.
My grandma
Yeah.
actually kind of changed her name. Like so
She did.
yeah. So it's like it's a lot with that, but
Okay, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother conversation,
like,
sugar.
yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
What
But
he
yeah,
say? Oh, he said a
Behind
comment. I
every
couldn't see it.
strong
Oh,
woman,
there it is.
there's a stronger
behind
woman.
every strong man, there's a stronger woman. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I don't think people like realize a woman makes everything better. Like I don't it's not like saying that we're like, not being like, this naive or like something, but I've learned like from when I'm growing like, dang, do I have to like okay, so I feel like I'm the backbone to what I'm saying, every relationship. And then I'm like, okay. Yeah. Wow, this has definitely been
A
hey,
great chef.
oh.
Yes. It was
Interesting.
it was
Kind of
a
like
yes.
speech. Did I just have a
It's
tear?
the new stuff
I
we
know. I saw you,
learned.
sugar. I saw you, sugar.
I'm
And
hard.
I was trying to water up. I was like, no, you better not cry, girl. You got makeup on. Stop it.
I'm hard, right?
Like, sugar, stop rubbing your eyes, girl. But
Um,
it's real. These are the real stories that's going to help heal. So we need to let's heal. We have to talk about it.
definitely. Y'all
Definitely.
done got me tonight. So,
Thank y'all for having me on the show. Thank you for
Welcome.
being a part of the Let's Heal movement. I was going to do one this Saturday, but I have to reschedule it for October. I'll let y'all know the date. Please come and do the same thing you did last time
are we getting
because
the
everyone loved your energy. Of course you are. Of
invite?
course you are. Y'all, your energy was really good. Dior, I hope you can come next time, sweetheart.
I
Please come
am.
on.
I'm gonna come.
Please,
I'm coming.
it's an experience, man. Please come on now, man. I need you there. We all need to hear this. We all need to hear these things. When I'm talking to others, I'm also talking to myself. So
Yeah.
when I give that psychotherapy at work, and when I do life coaching, whatever it is, I'm talking to me too. And that's why the clients really, this is
Connect.
my niche, man. I didn't know this was my niche, y'all. It's my niche.
It
It's
is.
my
It is.
niche.
Girl,
Well, I
I didn't
appreciate
know like this was my niche. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, you never know until you try, right? Until you do it,
That's right.
worth and like, okay, you do it.
Yeah.
it. Well, I appreciate
Yes,
you.
thank
It
you.
was amazing having you. It was amazing.
Thank you, Miss. Well, guys, that is our show tonight. I tell you one thing, that was a great show. If you missed it, you can check it again when it comes
Okay.
tomorrow. Make it or break it 336 Media, YouTube, Facebook, all that. Make sure you check out the Spike T Facebook page that we are always popping there. Have a good night, guys. That's all I gotta say. Peace.
Bye.